Massachusetts beer review channel of YouTube. Thomas Metal 75. This is your Massachusetts beer review, and this is the frickin' Heady Topper. One of a kind IPA beer. You all must have heard of that beer if you're currently watching now, or if you have ever been on Beer Advocate or watched any other YouTube channel videos or been to rate beer or know anything about the craft beer industry. Heady Topper is brewed by the Alchemist Brewery, and the Alchemist Brewery is in Waterbury, Vermont. If my information I'm reading from thealchemistbeer.com is correct, they were founded in 2011, and all they brew is Heady Topper beer. As the only thing they do, they want to perfect the art of this one beer, and they want to perfect it well, and apparently enough people have been taking notice. There are some locations that you can go to around the Vermont area that have this beer, but other than inside of Vermont and going to their brewery and their tap room hours, you can't find the beer anywhere else besides having a friend that buys the beer or conducting beer trades on the inside of the beer community, I should say. Yeah, there are definitely places that have it on tap here and there in the Vermont area, but that's about it. So I thank the fellow that provided 2 cans of this. This is the first can. I still have one left. And they say that they are an American-style double IPA that's at 8%. I believe it is 70 IBUs. They say on the can, at least, there's a lot on the back of the can, but they say at least that it's not intended to be the biggest or most bitter IPA, but it's supposed to, give you wave after wave of hoppy goodness on your palate. And it's so drinkable, it's scary. Anything else before we get to the tasting of Heady Topper that I can tell you? I'm trying to find out what kind of ingredients they use from the alchemistbeer.com. And they use a proprietary blend of 6 hops, each imparting a unique flavor and aroma, but they're not really mentioning exactly what goes into this beer. So what I know and what I've told you about the beer is what the beer can be said about commercially. Now, I opened this can already. I had about half of the can. It's a pint can. I had about a little less than half of it with dinner. John Kimmich is the brewmaster. They say nothing about the date it was brewed at because they don't want you to take too much time from the brewery to drinking it. You're supposed to drink these things immediately. And they say drink from the can, because they think it's an ugly beer. But if you must, because of the sediment and whatnot, but they say if you must pour it in a glass, you may find that some of the hop resins have settled to the bottom. Leave them in the can when pouring. But it's best when it is young, fresh, and hazy. So, I'm going to use this tulip-style glass. And we'll get you some tastings of Heady friggin' Topper. All of that out of there. All of that foam. Woo! I will get some more of that foam later. Alright. I wouldn't really say it's sediment rich, but it definitely has a New England style chill IPA, chill haze on it for sure. It is a bright orange with a little bit of a lemony yellow look to it. And the head is very, look at that, guys. The head is very thick, and it's going to leave all kinds of lacing on that. And it is, yeah, very rich and substantially holding up on that beer. So, I mean, it looks the part of a good IPA and double IPA for sure. Let's get a nose on the Heady Topper beer. Wow. There's a little bit of a viscous note from the 8%. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of a pungency from that. And there's also a really good amount of that tropical citrusy fruit note that you get from a lot of IPAs. It definitely has a fruit, juice, pineapple, and grapefruits, and oranges. It's got a really dank, resinous, hop, oily quality. It's got a really good bready malt character in there, a white bready malt. It has that sweet tropical fruit note. And I guess there is a little bit, I'm trying to think about what other flavors, but it's just primarily, if I get to them I'll let you know, but it's primarily a grapefruit, citrus, kind of a forward beer. And there might be a little bit of pine and leather in the background, but let's give it a try on camera. Heady frickin' Topper. Cheers, everybody. Oh my dear, good, sweet Lord Jesus Almighty. There's your A rating right there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, there's a bit of a viscosity from the 8%, and it's, I would say it's a medium towards a full mouthfeel, but it's definitely in the medium category. It's definitely drinkable for it being an 8% beer. You're definitely getting dank, resinous hop quality mixed in with that orange juice quality in the beginning. I think it's kind of orange juicy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it goes straight to grapefruit and the pineapple. There is a bit of that leathery kind of note. It finishes fairly dry after a couple of seconds, but it definitely leaves your palate with those hop oils. I would definitely say that dank resinous quality is a hop oily kind of a deal from it. And I guess there is a little bit of a, like a floral or pine note. I mean, it is a pretty aggressively, I don't know about I think some people this could be considered really an aggressively bitter beer, but at 70 IBUs, I think it is a little hop forward and not too malt forward, but I still think that there's a good bready malt supporting the hop characters and all those citrusy, orangey, juicy type qualities. Sweet malts. Sweet malts. And on that mouthfeel, again, it's got some viscosity. You can definitely feel like it's 8%. There's no joke about it being 8%, although it's not a burning sensation. It's not really too warming unless you drink a couple of, more than one can of this, you'll start to feel it immediately. Even one can, you might start to feel it, but any more than one, it's asking for trouble, guys. From a drinking standpoint, your taste buds will thank you, though. So what else can I tell you? It's a unfiltered and unpasteurized hop experience. And again, they're really about telling you to drink this straight from the can because they think it's a dirty and disgusting looking beer, but it looks fine and tastes great, and it's leaving all kinds of lacing. All kinds of lacing. It's got that fresh hop juice, quality, aroma, oils. Everything about the beer tastes fresh. It definitely has a primarily citrus malt character going on. There's a bit of a tartness. There's a lot of dank at the end of that sip before it dries. Yeah, a lot of dank before it dries. It's an overly hyped beer in the beer community for sure. Does it warrant, to me, is it warranting that overhyped quality that it gets from the online beer community? I guess so. Would I go out of my way to procure a case or two of this beer on my own? A couple of hours out of my way, like 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know how many hours it is to Waterbury, Vermont. But if I was going through that area anyways, I might. But just on my own accord, I don't think I would really do that. I just am not into searching around for these highly touted and sought after beers like Heady Topper or anything Farmhill Stead or anything Treehouse Brewing. I just think they get a lot of hype, and for those beers that you can only get at their brewery, at their tap house, it's a hassle that I just am not interested in undergoing to get a beer. Now, is there anything commercially available to most of us in the country that tastes as good as Heady Topper, or to me at least, would anything remind me of Heady Topper in its taste, or is just as, or just as good in the drinkability as a Heady Topper that I could recommend? And a few come to mind. A few. What immediately comes to mind is Sierra Nevada's Optimum IPA, which I don't have the information on any of these beers, so I apologize. But that's got to be one of my favorite double IPAs of all time. It's got a really good balance between the hop and the malt, and it's a little bit lighter in mouthfeel than this. But I think Heady Topper can compete with the Sierra Nevada Optimum. I think this one, being ranked number 5 in the world on Beer Advocate out of top 250 as best beers, I think it can compete with that, the Optimum IPA. Another one that I've had that I think of immediately would be the Dirt Wolf IPA from Victory. That's another double IPA. I think it's a lot lighter in flavor than this one. And AleSmith IPA is sort of similar to this, where, at least to my palate, it's got a nice hoppy juice quality, that dank sort of a taste, and that nice bready malt. Yeah, definitely as I drink the beer and as I swirl the beer, I get a lot of the sweet notes. It's definitely a sweeter IPA, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's cloying as far as double IPA is concerned. You have to like that style to get a little bit more out of it. It's got to be an A+ rated a double IPA beer. I don't think it's the best beer on the market. I don't think it's... Is it 5th overall? I'm going to leave that up to your judgment. I don't know if it's really 5th overall in the world as far as IPAs are concerned, but... Or, I mean, yeah, the 5th... I don't think it's 5th, number 5 rated beer of all time, even though that list changes all the time in Beer Advocate. I don't think it's number 5. It's been number 1. It's been number 1 in the past. It has been number 1 in the past. But New England is becoming, and has been for a number of years now, they've become quite a scene when it comes to, quite an area, should I say, when it comes to making some of these beers and some of these IPA styles now. Again, you have Treehouse that's got the Julius, you got those Farm Hillstead beers, you got the Alchemist, which are probably about the 3 most sought after beers, and maybe the other one, maybe another one in New England would be the Maine Beer Company's Dinner, which is very, very rare when it comes out, and the Maine Beer Company's Lunch. Those are some of the beer companies and some of the beers that are really, really highly sought after in New England, and by far they probably are the most sought after beers in New England, if I even come to think about that. But yeah, I would definitely give this an A+. Very good IPA. Can't really complain on that one. I think I would prefer the Optimum IPA. I would still give the Optimum an A+ too. But I think I prefer the Optimum IPA for 2 reasons. One, which would be obviously the availability of Optimum IPA. I see it all the time at my local beer stores. And in a 12, I think it's around 12 or 13 bucks for a 4-pack of the bottles, of 12-ounce bottles. So that's an amazing deal for something that's very, very similar to this. I think it's a good deal. And I don't have to go and search around for it. I think that's just a little bit more malts balanced with the hops, but they kind of are really the same kind of style and looking beer. Look at that lacing, guys. And as it warms, as the Heady Topper warms, I know we're going on almost 20 minutes here, but as the Heady Topper warms, it gets a little bit more boozy and a little more malty, and the sweetness is there, but it's not there like it was in the initial sip. But that is just a dank, resinous, a little bit more piney in the warmer temperature. Dank, resinous, citrusy, piney, bready, malty, oily smelling kind of a brew. So if you can trade for some Heady Topper, you can get the Heady Topper. You know somebody that can get you some Heady Topper. I wouldn't go out of my way and spend a boatload of money on this crap. On this crap, I say. On this stuff. But if you can acquire it, do it. A+ from me. And until next time, keep tasting great beers like this. Cheers. See you all soon. Cheers from Massachusetts Beer Reviews and the one and only Heady Topper, Waterbury, Vermont. Cheers.